Yo, what's up? Oh, today we're talking about a mistake that I made, and it's my first kiss gone wrong in modern dating. And hey, it happens to the best of us, and even happens to the Silver Bachelor. Listen, if this is your first time at my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor, and this channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. Listen, all right, let's get into this video. My first kiss gone wrong. And first of all, I can't remember ever having a complaint about my kissing. And I've dated a lot of women since I've been single. I was married before 20 years. I've now been single for 2 years. And this just goes to prove a point that modern women are very particular, and damn, like, you need to be perfect if you're going to end up sleeping with them. Like, they are watching every single move that you're doing. I am going to create a video on my first dates routine and the 20 things that I do before a first date. So if you haven't watched that video yet, well, I haven't recorded it yet, but go and check out that video because I will be posting that video very shortly. So, all right, let's get into this. So I met this woman on a dating app. She's from Colombia. I have this thing with Latin women for whatever reason. So we connected, and we had been communicating for probably a good 6 weeks because of her schedule, my schedule. So finally we make an arrangement to have a first date, right? And long story short, and feel free to bounce after you hear this, or you can stay and hear the rest of how this all happened. But the long story short is we had an amazing date. We went out for dinner, and then we went out for a few drinks afterwards to this like swanky place with couches. And I have a complicated situation with my car, so she drove there, and I Ubered there to meet her. And so she said, "Hey, I'll drive you home," and I'm like, "Okay, fine." So in the car, I go over for a good night kiss, and I was attracted to her. And then all of a sudden she says, "Oh, less tongue," while we're kissing. And then the kissing stopped. And I thought, "Oh shit, this is not good." So the long and short of it is, and there's more to this story, so hang on if you guys want, but basically, less tongue, okay? So I have never had a complaint about this, but clearly for her, she didn't like the tongue. Now, in some of my other dating situations where I've asked them about kissing, not that I was seeking their approval of, "Oh, am I a good kisser?" I would say something like, "What do you like about the way I kiss you?" And to a lot of women using not too much tongue, clearly that's something I need to be aware of now. I'm using too much tongue, but a little bit of tongue, mentally what they think about, and I've heard this from many women, mentally what they think about is you going down on them. And they're now imagining subconsciously what it might be like you being down on them, and that's why kissing is so erotic to women. Okay, so to continue with the story, we did go out on a second date. Things get interesting because I went out with her before New Year's Eve, so the day before New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Eve, I had no plans, right? So this is my first New Year's Eve in Atlanta. I didn't have any plans, and so whatever. So I decided to buy myself a steak and some nice wine. And so that's what I did. And I ended up going to sleep at 10 o'clock, right, on New Year's Eve. And I wake up at 1:30 in the morning, and I see this text from her, and she says, "Hey, Happy New Year." And I thought, "Oh shit, she's probably disappointed that I didn't wish her a Happy New Year promptly after midnight." So I said, "Oh yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Listen, I fell asleep." So then she says, "Oh, well, I thought you were actually going out with some friends. So I didn't ask you what you were up to. And so I said, no, I'm at home. And she's like, well, do you want to get together for a drink? Like, okay. Gets better, kind of. So we're texting, and then she's like, I'm actually in your area. Would you like me to stop by in 10 minutes? And I'm like, kind of all flustered. I'm like, oh, shit. I kind of clean my place a little bit, take a quick shower. And so, long story short, is that she ends up coming over, and I said, hey, a lot of places are closing right now, but I do have some Prosecco if you'd like some of that to celebrate, and we can have a drink at my place, no expectations. And she's like, okay. So she comes over to my place, and we're sitting there. We have a couple drinks, all is good, no making out or anything like that. And then she says, hey, it's 4 a.m. Do you mind if I stay over? So, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool. And so, sure enough, we both crawl into bed. She has most of her clothes still on. So and we didn't kiss earlier. So, not that I was having expectations. Of course, what guy wouldn't be a little hopeful? So, I was thinking, you know what? This is probably a situation where she just wants to cuddle, and I'm not going to, have any expectations and ask or anything like that. So we cuddled, we kissed a little bit, but I sensed she wasn't into the kissing, or she didn't want to keep kissing me. So she stays over. Nothing happened. Like, we didn't have sex, and so the next morning we're cuddling. We're in bed, because we didn't get to sleep till like 5 in the morning, and it's like 2 in the afternoon. We get up, and she says, "Hey, I had an amazing time, and I look forward to seeing you next week if you're available." So we made a plan for the following week. She goes home. So a few days later, this is on my mind now because of what she said in the car originally about, hey, too much tongue. And then when we were spending the night together, she didn't seem to be interested to kiss me. So a few days later, I text her and I say, hey, look, this is a little random, but I've been thinking about it. I don't want to ask you if you enjoy kissing. So then she comes back and she says, I do, but your first kiss that night, it just seemed like you wanted to have sex. And so I responded back to her and I said, well, uh, I'm attracted to you and I was turned on, sure, but I'm not expecting sex, as you've seen, because you stayed over. And I was very respectful and I was a gentleman. And then she's like, well, when you kiss me like that, you wanted to have sex. And then I said, well, maybe we can start over. So then she says, well, but if I kiss you like that, you're going to want to have sex. And I'm getting frustrated now. And I'm thinking, I said to her, I said, look, you stayed over. I was very respectful. We just cuddled. I'm good with that, but I don't want to get triggered by somebody rejecting me and not wanting to kiss me because that's what my ex used to do. Well, she still got defensive about it. And so I ended it. I said, well, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to be with somebody who doesn't want to kiss me. And of course, I'm going to get turned on. That's just a natural things that happen. And so the lesson in this, right? 2 lessons. Number 1 is careful with the tongue, right? This is the first time this has ever happened to me. So now I'm more aware of, okay, less tongue, right? The second thing is, don't ever allow someone to withhold purposely from you, especially with the kissing. And I mentioned this in one or more of my videos before, but in my marriage, when the kissing changed, she had checked out, right? So just remember that. That's the number 2 thing, is the kissing. If the kissing changes in your relationship, she's checked out. You can't recover from it. And then you have a very, very hard decision to make on whether or not you want to keep that relationship going or you want to exit, whatever. So now I'm very, very aware of how important the kissing is. And this was the first time in my dating, and that's why I wanted to create this video for you, where somebody complained about my kissing, and she was withholding that from me. And I was like, you know what? I can't recover from this. I could be the best guy. I could be treat her nice. And she kept complimenting me before I brought this conversation up about, oh, you're an amazing guy and all these things. And all that doesn't matter, man. It's like when something hits these women and they've checked out, you need to bail. That's exactly what I did. So hope this video was helpful. Less tongue, right? All right, man. We'll see you next time.